Hi, and welcome to the MACE podcast. My name is Rick Dubidat. I'm a martial art instructor, and I've been teaching in the Sandwell area around West Bromwich and surrounding areas for over 20 years now. I've taught thousands and thousands of families across the area, and I'm joined by one of the instructors from Martial Arts Centres of Excellence, Sarah. How you doing, Sarah? You okay?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm absolutely brilliant. I'm just excited about doing this for the community for Sandwell. Now, Sarah, you want to introduce yourself? A little bit about
Okay.
you.
I'm Sarah. As Rick just said, I am an instructor at the Martial Arts Centres of Excellence. I've been teaching for quite a few years now, and I absolutely love training. Kickboxing, karate are my specialities. Um, and yeah, I've been with Mace for quite some time now.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, with me, I've got an extensive background. I've been teaching for over 20 years, and I've been training for, dare I say, almost 40 years. Yeah, I'm old. I'm really old. Got black belts in various arts and everything. I've competed, represented Great Britain in kickboxing and point karate and everything, and got British, European, and world titles, and created at least two world champions every year for over a decade, up until the pandemic, which for a spanner in the works. We're going to get there again. Right. So anyway, the whole point of this podcast is to talk about a specific topic that we feel very, very, very strongly about, and it's about the benefits of martial arts for bullying. Okay, not for bullying, but to stop kids getting bullied and adults. And it's really important. I mean, we've have a lot of kids and families contact us over the years, or the past 20 years, coming because of that very reason. They're being bullied, or they just don't feel confident in themselves. And we've got an amazing track record of helping people to build the not just the skills to defend themselves, that's a given, but also the confidence to know what to do and to take action instead of just being a victim. But yeah, I'm going to talk more about that. Yeah, Sarah, what's your viewpoints on bullying and everything? What the effects are of bullying?
I think, do you know what? Bullying, unfortunately, it's everywhere. It's in schools, even like you said with adults. It's in workplaces, but the predominant thing that we hear is bullying in schools. Um, no child should ever be bullied. No child should ever be the bully. Um, but like you said, seeing through the years, the children that have come to us after being bullied or going through some form of bullying, martial arts it changes the
Mm.
way the children are and seeing them grow, and it's really helped so many children. I think all children should be in it, but if children are being bullied, I think it's so powerful for kids.
It is. Like the effects of bullying aren't just isolated to when the bullying's happening. It moves on, and I've seen it myself where I've seen students that they've been bullied, like say for 4 years or whatever, and their parents take a little bit too long to take action on it, and unfortunately the kids end up with a low level of self-esteem. They don't have friendship groups, they have no confidence or anything, and that has a knock-on effect on literally everything. So all of a sudden the parents come in not just to combat bullying, but now to help them to socialize with people, build confidence, self-esteem, and be able to communicate. And it's sad to see. And one thing that I want to really, really stress is that any parents watching this, that if your child has gone through bullying in some way, shape, or form, you need to take action quickly. Parents aren't quick enough to take action to kind of bulletproof their child against some of the things that can happen. I've noticed that over the years, and they're getting more and more relaxed now, a little bit more accepting. The thing is, they're sitting back and then waiting for the schools to do everything. But if your child is going to school and being bullied, and then your daughter or your son comes home, they've been bullied at school, and you're not doing anything with them outside of that to help them to combat it, don't think that the school is going to do anything to help your child to get over it. Teachers are busier now more than ever. The whole process of teaching has changed. Speak to any teachers. They're stressed and they're stretched. So they can only deal with the incident in front of them, and they kind of get that done. And I don't want to upset any teachers watching this, but they want to deal with that incident. And then after that, they've got other things they need to deal with. So they may be not as purposeful in combating bullying long term as they could be because they don't have the time or the resources. What are your thoughts, Sarah?
It's 100% true. There's only so many things that teachers can do. And I kind of want to talk more about the after effects of that because, like you just said, teachers in schools, they can deal with what's in front of them, what's happening now. They deal with it. They do what they have to do, whatever that paperwork may be, or how to support the child. What about when that child gets home? Teachers aren't there to see that. Teachers aren't there to support. That's where us as parents have to come in and say, this is where we need to help. You know, children it can go from one extreme to the other. They could be isolating themselves. They could even end up acting out because they want good attention. They don't want all of this negative, or they'll just isolate themselves. And neither of those are good for children. So like you said, the school will only do so much. As parents, it's a lot more of what happens back at home because that's their safe place and that's where they're free to express their emotions, feel all the feelings that they're feeling and get it out. But parents need to support children with this as well and take action.
100%. I mean, that's so true. Now, I've heard parents trying their best to help their child with bullying, and unfortunately, their advice goes as far as ignore the bullies. Have you ever tried ignoring like a bully or a group of bullies? Or on the flip side, just smack them. It's like, yeah, you know what? If you've got it in you, you've got it in you. If you haven't, then it's something that needs to be kind of taught and maybe nurtured. And then there's decision making.
Yeah.
When is it appropriate? When is it not appropriate? All that kind of thing. So it is hard. Parents have got their hands tied. Teachers got their hands tied. But the good thing is that you can take an extra step. And I honestly feel, as somebody that's been through bullying myself as a child growing up, a very, very long time ago, that martial arts is the answer. Like, I might be a little bit biased being a martial art instructor, but it is the answer. I've seen so many kids come in, and when they come in, they won't talk to anyone, they won't interact, they're a little bit shy, a little bit timid, and then after like 12 months, you see the change. Well, you see the change after 3 months. But after 12 months of training, then you see 2 years, and then look at some of the guys that have been training with me for, started when they're about 6, and now they're like 18. Look at the level of confidence and the level of success that these guys are having in every area of their life now, and complete role models. It's the benefits are crazy. So let's talk about how our martial art classes specifically help kids to build the skills to cope with bullying. The first thing I'd say is like empowerment through skill. So we teach them our curriculum. I want to talk a little bit about our curriculum, not the specific techniques, but the split, like character development and stuff.
Yeah. So we're a martial arts school, so we do teach the techniques, the punches, the kicks, etc. But also including that curriculum, we have a separate part which is character development. So we're teaching them decision making. We're teaching them how to be confident, not just on the mats, but outside of the mats as well. There's too many character development areas to go over now. But there's an anti-bullying area as well, which is a powerful one. We teach obviously attributes of the martial arts, but the character development that's our main.
Yeah, it's kind of the underlying theme, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like it's one thing to teach a kid how to punch and kick, but it's another level to teach a kid how to punch and kick while making the right decisions at the right time. Now, we use lots of analogies and kind of stories and stuff to help kids understand it and make it stick. Like things that, one thing that I do is like, okay, the reason why sparring is so important. Some parents hear sparring like, oh, my child's going to get hurt. They're not going to get hurt because we're professional at what we do, and we only do it from a certain level, and it's basically it's part of the program, and it's done in a safe manner. It's probably one of the most fun things anyone can do. But I use the analogy that being able to spar is like having a conversation. The more confident you are in yourself, the easier the words are going to flow. The words are the techniques. So if you've ever had, if you've ever been in the presence of somebody that's really, really shy, their body language is like this. They're scared to move. They don't make eye contact and stuff as much. But then somebody that's really, really like loud and confident, their hands all over the place, and they talk like this. They talk. Just hit my microphone. Just hands all over the place and everything. And they're really gregarious and they're big and larger. You hear people say they're larger than life characters. That's confidence. So the martial arts helps them to link the physiology with the psychology. And I hope people see and understand the concept there. If you look at like world-class sports people, they're not usually shy people, are they? If you look at dancers, they're not shy. But why? Because they've got something to express themselves, self-expression. And for me, martial arts is that self-expression. It's not about fighting. It's not actually about fighting. The funny thing is that if you build that confidence to a certain level, you don't have to fight. I think I'm quite a confident person. And because of that, the way I carry myself, I don't have to fight anybody. I'm too old anyway, but I don't have to fight anyone or anything. It's amazing. So another thing is the discipline and respect. We teach the students to discipline, to be disciplined in the way that they do things, the way they carry themselves, their actions, their thoughts and their decisions, and how to respect themselves and others. That's definitely a massive part of the whole of every single class. To be honest, the discipline and respect. What do you see when you're teaching classes and you have like new students come in, and maybe the student isn't disciplined to start off with, or they don't really understand respect and the change? What kind of reaction do you see from the student, or change in the students, and reaction from the parents there?
So if I have students come in and they're not disciplined at all, and parents have brought them in to help with the discipline, they're on the mats, they could be trying to talk and everything, but then they start looking around and going, "Oh, why am I the only one doing this?" And then they start thinking, "Oh, I shouldn't be doing this," and then they stop, and their behaviour, their discipline becomes a lot better. And then all of a sudden you see, because they're disciplined and they're following what the class is doing, they actually then start going and making friends, because they're like, "Oh, actually, I'm going to be like these guys. I'm going to listen to my instructor. I'm not going to sit and talk when they're talking. I'm not going to run around and do some flips at the back of the room. I'm going to stand and listen here." And I think we get through to those kids, and then having other kids around who are disciplined and they're setting the example, it then becomes not just about it being a martial arts class. That's when we develop the community of the martial arts, because they've got friendships. And that's another beauty of martial arts. Maybe if things are tough with the kids at school and they're having a problem, they then have another community to come to. They've got their friends, they've got peers, they've got instructors that they can talk to. If they've had a really rubbish day at school, we're always up for saying, "Hey, let's have a chat." So yeah, it's the discipline leads on to so many things. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. I mean, the support network that's at the academy, it's nice to see that, like, say you have like 11 or 12-year-old that's going through something at the school, coming into the academy and having direct access and friendship groups with kids that are 13, 14, 15, even 16-year-olds. Now, these groups would not mix at school. These groups wouldn't mix outside on the street. They just wouldn't. But the community that we have means that everybody pretty much talks to everybody. And it's really, really cool. And we find that the older students are giving the benefit of their experience to the younger kids. We saw it the other day, didn't we? And it's absolutely amazing to see. And that has a knock-on effect, because those younger students are doing the same to younger students. And it gives them an understanding that they're doing the right thing, and they've got a supportive network. The next thing is like physical fitness is a given. Right, we push the students to be physically fit. We train them hard, and it's enjoyable. We disguise the repetition by making sure the classes are fun, but we do have a high level of discipline. When we say line up, we mean line up. We say everyone quiet, and we mean everyone quiet. I think that's lacking in today's society a little bit, I think. But also the fact that the structure allows for not just physical fitness, but mental fitness as well. Now tell me, where else can a child go to improve their mental well-being? Because I haven't been able to think of anywhere else, unless that child is going to counselling or something. there isn't really anything that's there that supports that, really, is there? Purposefully.
No, there's not around.
There isn't. And then this is one of the major things that I love about our academy is the way that we structure the classes and the instructor training that we do every single month with all our instructors and all our teams that I teach personally. The teaching's filtered down, and the mental health aspect is a big thing. We recognize when somebody comes in and they're not quite right, and we'll address it. And we've got a massive support community. It's absolutely amazing. So those are some of the ways that our classes really help to combat bullying that might be happening now, and also get rid of bullying that might happen in the future. But let's talk about some actual success stories, some actual people. We'll use their first names, we'll use their surnames, okay. Or maybe use initials for some of the older ones, the teens and stuff. All right, so you want to go first? Can you think of anyone, or shall I go first?
I'll let you go first while I'm sat thinking, is that all right?
All right, so I'm going to think, okay, so one, right? One student, is a lad, he's about between the age of 15 and 18, is what I'm going to say. And when he came to us, he was being bullied. He was really, really shy. He was just that kid in the background. That was 10 years ago, I think, that he came to us. It was just that kid in the background. And it took a while. And through our program, it's just developed and grown and grown and grown and grown. And he's smashing it now. Like, just the change. And when I say smashing it, I don't mean that he just got good at martial arts, because he got exceptionally good at martial arts. He's amazing at martial arts right now, like at several arts. He's got black belts in, I think it's 3 of the arts that we teach. Trains like 3-4 times a week. Kid's a machine. Well, he ain't a kid anymore. But the change was highlighted by people outside. First, it was his dad, who kept thanking us, and does every year. Then, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Then a change in coming from the teachers, his school and his college, about how his attitude to everything is just like really changed. He's such a role model. And then hearing all the other parents of kids that are younger talking about it, referring to him, and say that their kids want to be like him. When I hear that from and seeing somebody's journey and knowing that we've been a massive part of that journey, and the parents have done an amazing job as well, being really supportive with everything, and seeing a child go from like a kid with no confidence to becoming like a junior instructor and everything, it gets me right here. It really, really does. Because that's what does his potential. Our tagline is "Your potential is our passion," and we really honestly believe that. And I look at him and a lot of the others and think, whoa, if I had his potential at his age, I'd be running the country now. And it's crazy to see, isn't it? Can you think of anybody else? We've got so many, but you want to give any specific stories or anything?
There's so many, but I want to talk to some of the younger kids who are now older. And there's one, and quite a few of the children recently have transitioned into high school. And I remember this one student coming in. She was very shy, wouldn't talk. It was just like, you'd say, "Hey, how are you?" And she'd be like, and then we started the martial arts. She's on the mats. She's trying. She's a little bit reserved. Fast forward that 2 years, she's coming out of her shell. She's speaking. She's got friendship groups within the academy. She'll come down, sit down before class, and she's having a right natter with her friends. She's loving it. She's becoming slowly more confident in class, asking questions, and her hand starts going up, or she'll start asking. Fast forward that another 2 years later, she's taken a black belt. And all I could see when watching this person take their black belt was this shy little kid coming in, wouldn't say hey, probably didn't speak to me for a couple of months, and was just like, no. And then to see them take their black belt, absolutely smash black belt, but grow so much as a person in such a short time. 4 years, yeah, okay, it sounds like a long time, but it's not. It flies when you've got kids.
Yeah.
And then to see this person completely change and now be on our leadership program, doing what they can for other shy kids and helping them get into martial arts, it's just, yeah, it's life changing. It really is. I get really proud to see the kids like that.
It makes it worthwhile. That's the part that reminds me why I teach classes. You know, when you go through the difficult times, it's like, okay, so I remember why I love teaching martial arts, and that's because of this. So, I mean, one last incident, one last thing is like one directly related to what we were talking about today was I remember one kid coming to us that he had certain difficulties. Yeah, he had certain difficulties, like physical difficulties and stuff. And because of that, he was victimized and bullied at high school, like pretty badly, physically. Um, and then his parents had taken him to a martial arts school to obviously take steps. It was good parents. And the instructor was like, "Oh, they're not going to be able to do the normal classes, so we're just going to do one to one." And proceeded to do one to one with that kid for like a year, twice a week, 35 quid a session. And the mom was paying it because of the desperation. She was paying 70 quid a week to do one to ones with this kid because just couldn't. She was told that he couldn't do the classes. So they had some falling out, and she contacted me, and I said, well, on the phone, she said, okay, I want one-to-one lessons. And I was like, okay, so can I ask you why you want private lessons instead of coming to a class? Because if it's to get over bullying and all that kind of thing, and by the way, the bullying hadn't stopped or it hadn't improved, right? So if it's doing combat bullying and stuff, so wouldn't it be better for him to come into a class, communicate with other people, like just get involved, build a new circle of friends, get some advice and everything. I think he was 14 at the time, I think. And she's like, well, I've been told that he's not capable of doing a class. Okay, bring him down. We'll have a chat. I'll do a little bit of a one-to-one with him and see where we go. We came in, spoke to the parent, and she just proceeded to tell me how all parents do, everything that he can't do. So I stopped and listened and then politely said, okay, so you've told me everything he can't do. Now tell me what he can do. And she just like looked at me. Don't think she's ever been asked that before. So let's focus on what he can do instead of everything what he can't, because he's been knocked down everywhere else he goes. Let's start building him up. Got him on the mats, did a bit of a one-to-one, and he did everything I asked him to do. It was a little bit wobbly, a little bit of a few issues with balance and stuff, but he tried really, really hard, and he did well. So I literally said to her, I said, I'm not really sure what you were told. However, he can do a class. He can do all the exercise I've asked him to do. He's done, I think I've got him doing a couple of punches, an elbow, a knee strike, and just a basic front kick. And I got him hitting the punch bag and stuff as well. It was fine. He press up, sit up, start, everything. It was fine. There's nothing. Went into the class, cut a long story short, 3 years, and he got through to take his black belt. And then the pandemic hit. But yeah, so that was one of the proudest moments ever, because everywhere else he was told, no, you can't, you're not this, you're not good enough. Came to us, it's like, we're going to work on your strengths. Everyone's got some weaknesses. Let's work on your strengths and make you the best version of you that you can. And that's what we did. And he absolutely smashed it. And when I don't mind saying, when he did his black belt testing, I cried. I walked off the mats. And cried and it came back, and it was emotional. Don't tell anybody that, Sarah, otherwise they'll beat you up. I'm not a bully. But yeah, so it's important that we give our kids a chance instead of like letting other people pull our kids down. We need to do everything that we can to raise them up. I mean, we talk to the parents a lot as well, don't we? We keep the parents involved in the whole training journeys. We'll try and get them training, to be honest, but we keep them involved in the journey as well. And we've got some very, very good like relationships with some of the parents that come in and like have their children train with us. You want to talk about the community, like the parents and everything, like coming and watching classes and everything? It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is. So you see a lot of martial arts, I've seen a lot in the past where parents don't really stay or talk, or they just go, oh, I'm going to go and be busy. That's where I was a little bit different. they stay, they sit and have chats, they have coffees. Coffees and cake seems to be the theme it has. And whereas parents have started bringing their children for obviously their reasons, whether that be the bullying, the discipline that they need, they're struggling at home, maybe. That's when the parents find their community as well. So not only are we speaking to the parents, say just speaking to them, like how many times do you walk somewhere to take your kids for an activity and the person that's teaching your child goes, "How are you? How was your day?" We really care about how your day, because if you're okay, that means that your child's okay. And if you're not okay, we want to help. It's about yourselves as well. Your parents, you're the priority for these kids.
Yeah.
And then seeing the friendship groups that have formed, there've been several times when I'm teaching a class, I have to go over and I'll be like, "Can you please keep the noise down? I'm trying to teach a class." And they're just like, "Sorry, we're just having a catch up." And actually, it's really nice to see those friendships, because sometimes the parents come in a little bit shy as well. And they're like not sure where to sit, and they're like just kind of sit there reserved and get a book or drink their coffee. And it only takes that one step of someone going, "Hey, I'm such and such's mom. You must be such and such's mom." And then the table spaces get bigger and bigger, and there's more people around. And then they've got friends. And actually, a lot of our parents know friends outside of the school as well. So the outside of the academy, sorry, I should say. And they're now spending time with so the kids are spending time together outside of the academy. So they come to the academy, do their class, they socialise, and they're all friends outside of the academy as well. And I think that's really important. Friendship groups, children, parents, no matter what your age, it's really important to have a support group and a friendship group. And that's what we are. We're a community, and parents will come and speak to us as well. If they're having a rubbish day, they'll tell us. If their kid, something's gone on, they'll say, "Hey, Sarah, this has happened. Can I get a little bit of advice?" Maybe it's to do with bullying. I've had a couple of parents speak to me about bullying, acting out, misbehaviour. I'm sure you've had the same, Rick, as well.
Yeah.
And they come and speak to us, and they tell us if they're, and we try and help our best. And the kids will come and talk to us as well, which I think it's important for a child to have someone to speak to.
Yeah. 100%. I think that's the thing. They know that we're not there to judge them. We're not there to have a go at them. We want the best for them. They also know that we're not going to accept any excuses for them not being the best version of themselves or making the right decisions, which is again, it's another way of instilling that discipline and respect and everything to make them the best person that they can possibly be, or the best version of themselves, and be a leader. That's what we do for the children. They are leaders. We build them up to be leaders. They're not like, come and have a look at our teens. If you've never been to our academy or anything, or you're curious, come and have a look at our teens who've been trainers for a while, and you'll see and you'll feel how they are leaders. They're not like normal kids. They aren't. Including my sons. I've got two sons, one 8, one 14. They're leaders. They really, really are. Okay, so you might have a question. So you don't know us, right? You might be watching this or listening to this. You don't know us. So, like, who are we to kind of tell you about, like, or offer that we can build confidence in your kids or teach martial arts? Well, the first thing is we're parents. Yeah, a lot of the instructors are parents, so we understand children. Also, we're adults, so we understand what it's like to be adults. Yeah, so we understand a hell of a lot about the whole dynamic, the family dynamics, and the challenges that come with that. Then also, all my instructors are fully qualified, and they've got black belts and above, Dan grades in various arts like kickboxing, karate. We teach kickboxing and karate, JKD concepts, which is Bruce Lee's art, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. We teach Thai boxing and boxing. So we've got quite a lot going on. Plus extra specialist classes that we hold and specialist programs. We run 7 days a week, and we have age-specific classes. My credentials, I'm not going to list all of them, but I've got Dan grades in all the arts that I've mentioned, except Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But yeah, black belts and above, 6th-degree black belt in kickboxing, 3rd-degree black belt in karate, 2nd-degree black belt in KC fighting method, which is Panentuk and dirty boxing and stuff. ABA qualified boxer. Got coaching qualifications in MMA, grapple. Got a wide array of martial arts. Basically, I've been doing it a long time, man, a long time, right? Which is why I look like this. And I fought all over the world, literally, and represented Great Britain and been the GB captain for a very long time, creating teams to go abroad and represent Great Britain and win titles and stuff. So we know what we're doing. I've been running martial arts schools for a very long time, and we've come through. We've got basically we've experienced pretty much every single issue and problem and family dynamic, and that's why we're the experts. That's why we've been around for so long. And what we want to do is we want to extend an invitation for you to come and get a week free training at our academy. So what happens is you'll come down, you'll meet the team, get shown around, and then either you or your child or children will have a week full of classes where they get to try out our beginner classes, beginner sessions, and then we just take it from there, really. If you just want to contact us to talk about issues that your child may be having at school regarding bullying stuff, please do. Sarah's going to get the number for you. You're going to get the mobile number now because I don't know what it is. Right. But yeah, all you can do, you can either call this number or text the number. We'll put it over this video as well so you can see it, and contact us, and then we will have a chat with you, see how we can help, maybe just give you some advice, or go into the school that your child is in and not beat up the teachers. No, we won't do that, but we'll maybe do a talk or something for the school that your son or daughter's in as well. But yeah, anything you got to say, Sarah?
No, I will say something. I'm just going to read that number first. So the number is 07723 469 144. That's the best number to contact. You can contact any member of the team on that number. And like Rick said, if you just want to chat or something if you want to discuss something with us and maybe we can help, that's what we're here for. Like we've seen it all. We've seen a lot over the past few years, unfortunately. But fortunately, it means that we can now help more people, because that's what we want to do. We want to help. Going into the schools, doing anti-bullying talks, they're really important, and the schools always take a lot for them. Whether that be primary or secondary schools, we've been into both. And your kids won't come home and beat you up, don't worry. that's not what's going to happen. That's not what we teach. When we go into schools, we do a lot of anti-bullying workshops, a lot of confidence workshops, self-esteem as well, especially for teenagers. That is a huge thing. Having children myself, I've noticed the self-esteem is like a conversation now. Like they're coming home and thankfully not themselves, but they're coming home and saying, oh, such and such feels like this today, such and such feels like this today. And there's a lot about self-esteem. But yeah, I just, after seeing a lot of things over the years, I do think martial arts really it's so powerful for children and adults, and it really does change lives. That sounds a little bit cheesy, doesn't it? But it's true. Like
the truth is the actual truth. It really is. So if you want to get in contact with us or find out any more, let us know. Please share this podcast with your friends and family. We'll be doing future podcast episodes on various topics that are relevant to all you guys, our audience. And if you have any questions or anything, just reach out. I just want to say thank you to Sarah for your time today. And yeah, we'll all see you soon. Take care, guys.
See you soon.